It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow. It's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at Bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
I can't hear you. All right, so hello everybody. Welcome to hopsgeeknews. On our live edition, we are going to recap our vacation that we just got back from. We spent 7 days on a Mickey boat. We got to see Deadpool and Wolverine in London. We did a little time in Barcelona as well. Matt is working on his phone, or on his microphone. It's not working the best. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Acolyte and a little about the boys, because both of those ended while we were there. Spoilers, I was not a huge fan of the Acolyte, so I'm curious to hear everybody else's opinions about it. So while Matt is getting that fixed, I am going to tell you about what beer I am about to be drinking. Since we were talking about the Mickey boat that we just went on, I have a Binny's Brew. This is actually a Disney themed beer. It is by D3, which is Disney Day Drinkers, and a brewery. It is brewed magically. It is a Florida ale that is 5%. If you're not familiar with Disney Day Drinkers, they are on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, and whatnot. And they do events where people who like to drink at Disney come to. And Binny is a trash can that can be found in front of the UK pub at Epcot. And people love going there and taking pictures with their beers on top of Binny. I got this at Total Wine. It is also at downtown or Disney Springs at the moment. And it sounds like they're going to be making another one too. I think it's a pumpkin and they're doing something with Cinderella. It's a decent beer. I've had it before. Oh, apparently my glass is not as clean as I thought it would be. So hopefully Matt joins us soon. You're still muted, Matt. The Michael Phelps of trivia, but not the Michael Phelps of microphones.
Mother bitches.
Hey, we hear you.
I don't know what's going on. Microphone, technical troubles. You know what? I am the Michael Phelps of trivia. We are here. We are back. First things first, before we dive into the boys spoiler, the Acolyte, we're gonna breeze past the Acolyte. If I'm being honest, I don't think either of us were really big on the Acolyte finale, so we'll let that be. But you know what we are going to do is talk about our European vacation and all sorts of stuff. So I am obviously drinking the same beer as Lauren is, and I'm excited to talk some stuff. So why don't we go ahead? We're going to kick things off by talking about the boys season 4 wrap up. Lauren, if you will, go ahead and oh wow, it doesn't let us go live on Twitter anymore.
What?
Because we don't have a premium account.
Oh wow, and Twitter.
Wow, what the fuck, Twitter? That's
Wow.
crazy. All right, I guess I'm gonna go live on our Instagram real quick. That's kind of crazy.
Can you share the YouTube to the Twitter?
Oh man, I can't. That's so crazy. I have to have a stream
Thank
key. So I
Elon
guess
Musk.
we're only on YouTube and we're only on Facebook. So guess what? That sucks. Let me handle that real quick. Lauren, why don't you go ahead? Spoilers. We're gonna go ahead and talk about The Boys season 4. So I'm gonna solo Lauren. Give us your thoughts on The Boys. What you think about season 4 of The Boys?
Well, anybody who did watch, obviously, I loved that end credit scene. There was a lot of supernatural in this season. I agree. Twitter is lame.
Fucking Twitter, dude. Like,
well, it's not even Twitter, and we're still maybe they're mad we never call it X.
Unreal.
Okay, so yes, The Boys spoilers. So you got that shifter? That was straight out of Supernatural. The eyes changing, they even called it a shifter, but Butcher called it a soup shifter. So that was a really fun nod. Bobby or Robert Singer called somebody an idiot, then hit the golf ball and said balls. So that was fantastic. And then obviously we get Soldier Boy. So when they first were introducing Ryan and they were in like an FBI hospital or a CIA hospital, I was expecting Soldier Boy to walk in. And of course Ryan walked in. No, it was a great season. There was a lot of ups and downs. Butcher, I think, is no longer Butcher. I think he's full on Parasite. I think he's full on, fake Joe Kessler. I think next season is going to be very crazy and scary. I think there is a lot of parallels to real world, which is entertaining, but also scary at times. I was very shocked at Newman. I did not see that coming. I thought she was going to be around for a while. But I loved this season. I wouldn't say it was my favorite season so far. I think 3 was probably my favorite season, but I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't mind the season. Again, I'm just gonna go ahead and reiterate: Twitter is a piece of shit. Fuck you, Twitter. But I will agree. This season had its ups and downs for me. I admittedly wasn't that big of a fan at certain times. Just because I felt like the plot didn't really go anywhere. Frenchie and Kamiko's story didn't go anywhere. I feel like Huey kind of got the shit under the stick a lot more than he really deserved, and we kind of breezed past his stuff.
But I don't. Okay, I'll let you finish.
No, go. Yeah, you're fine. No, you're fine. You're totally fine. Because I do feel like that, in certain regards, that does kind of suck. However, I will say that there was a lot of really good to it, though. Like, I thought the Butcher stuff was interesting. There is a lot of there was a lot of good in it. I thought the action sequences are good. I thought the Homelander, the stuff with Ryan and Butcher, for example, their battle between, Ryan's moral dilemmas was great. Homelander's going more towards the edge. Sage, I hate Sage, but she was really good. And I agree. Like, I'm really surprised.
Evil because she knows what she's doing. She's fully aware of what she's doing.
I am admittedly very surprised that it sucks because I didn't think that Newman would die the way she did either. So that's pretty unfortunate that she died. So that part, I get it, but also like it does kind of suck. But overall, though, a solid season. I think it sets up the final season because season 5 is going to be the final season. I think that sets it up pretty well, in my opinion.
So with the Frenchie and Kamiko stuff, I actually really liked what they did because I feel like having oh god, I already forgot his name. What's the guy that Frenchie dated for a little bit whose family?
Did it start with a C?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I can't remember.
Anyways,
whatever his name is.
I enjoyed that arc because I thought it was very interesting because we saw, I mentioned this before, we saw Frenchie for the first time ever really see the impact of the terrible things that he's done. He's never enjoyed doing the terrible things, but he's done terrible things. He's felt guilty with it. He doesn't think he's a good person because of it. I think he's a good person, but I think he's done some god-awful things that you can't come back from. And he finally realized that and punished himself. And I think we then got more backstory on Kamiko and why she doesn't speak. And she's like, no, you're not too good for me. And I lied to you and said that I didn't want to be with you because I didn't think you, or because I thought you were too good for me. And so I love that they gave them that moment together. They finally had that kiss. So I thought that was really sweet. Of course, that was short-lived because we see at the end, they're all going in different directions. But I thought that was a really good arc for both of them. They both dealt with a lot this season emotionally, outside of what they were doing. And like, she's wanted out of all of this for a while. And so it seemed like they were finally getting that, even though it wasn't the choice they necessarily made. It was more so they're being forced to go into hiding. And then obviously that backfires. And then with Huey, he's been through a ton. but obviously losing his dad, and then like everything that happened with him dressed as Spider-Man, which was so amazingly
Oh God, that
ridiculous.
was I mean, it was ridiculous. Web Weaver, that's what it
Web
was.
Weaver, yeah.
Yes.
But I felt like that broke him, and that was when he like, said to Annie like, I'm not okay, and he did have like that full-on moment of getting to grief, because you never know when grief is going to hit you, and him dealing with that, I feel like was when the grief hit. But then Annie being switched with the shifter redirected the attention away from him.
I think I don't know how I feel about the shapeshifter, I guess. I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it.
Very supernatural. I mean, even how the shifter was like, I don't even, remember like what I look like anymore. And like you see, it was remember the Dracula episode Monster Movie? Like that was a
oh
shifter.
yeah.
And he was talking about in that like how his father called him a monster, so he became a monster, and it's like he doesn't even remember who he was before. And I thought that I just saw a lot of parallels with Supernatural. The shifter was creepy. Huey knew before he knew, and like because then he says to Annie like, the shifter knew where her keys were right away, and she wore designer clothes at the apartment and didn't switch into to sweats, and he's saying all these things he loves about her, but he didn't put it together till they were in the bunker because he was conveniently having all the sex. Like the shifter knew what she was doing. Like that was you want to get a guy to pass out real quick, have some good sex with him, and then you can go steal whatever you want.
That's true. That is true. It is. Yeah, I don't know, like it's interesting. As I'm trying to get our Instagram up and running real quick, I apologize that I'm doing this because Twitter threw us for a wrench, but I don't know how I felt, I guess, about the shapeshifter at first, but it makes sense. What you're saying, it was like the shapeshifter was introduced, I guess, kind of abrupt in a way. So to me, it was kind of strange that the shapeshifter was so abrupt. And
it was a genius person to pick to shoot the president.
It was like the whole when they decided to be like, yeah, this is the person that's going to shoot the president. This is why. Oh, I was like, oh, that actually makes sense. And Annie was stuck, and her powers are having a lot of issues. All that actually made a lot of sense in the long run. So that does make sense.
And all of a sudden, her powers worked really well. So I didn't understand what the emotional constipation was with her powers. I feel like we didn't fully get that answer.
They never really did explain that for some reason about what was going on with her powers at all.
It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow. It's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
But it was okay. Overall, I do think it was a solid season. I have no real complaints. I thought the season was pretty solid.
Yeah, I do have questions about the V, because
so Homelander just has a whole thing of Compound V. Like, what all is that about? I'm not really sure.
Well, it's like, why does he? So is Temp V different from Compound V if you take it as an adult? Because obviously, if you give a baby Compound V, it seems to work pretty well. But the Temp V causes some sort of parasite, which we saw in the bunny, and then obviously we see that in Butcher, where like Butcher's like no longer Butcher. So what Ashley took though was at a Homelander's thing. So is that Temp V? Is that Compound V? Is there a difference?
Yeah, I
because
don't.
she
That's
should she just take one shot attempt to try to get out of there, to have superpowers just temporarily to get
well,
out of there?
that was a weird part too. Like, she
That was
took
when
it
a wig
because she
fell
would.
off.
That's when they started to kill everybody, which I thought was very interesting, because they went down that route. So I don't know. I guess season 5 is going to be pretty crazy. I'm pretty excited. I can't wait for season 5 of The Boys. That's kind of how it ends it. Briefly, if you want to talk about the Acolyte, I don't really have much to say about the Acolyte other than spoilers. Soul was the fall guy. I didn't overly love this season as a total. There were some really bright moments, but I just thought overall, like,
This
it
is my
ended kind
least
of
favorite Star Wars thing I've ever
it,
watched.
it ended very flat, which is disappointing.
I never liked the Green Lady to begin with. She gave me the ick from the beginning.
But we even
And I
didn't
think
even
she's
really
evil.
get anything with her. She definitely is. The way I think she was Kymir's master at one point. I want to
She
say
was.
that's
No, she admitted that she was. Was she his master as
right.
a Jedi, or was she his master as a Sith?
Well, we got that brief gratuitous shot of Plagueis, which I thought kind of sucked because that didn't do anything. They definitely killed the best new character, Jecki. Just saying. You're right.
I think the best part of the show was the full minute and a half that Martian Manhunter was in it, talking about like the Jedi need to be under
Oh, that
investigation and
was really
stuff.
good. That
I
was good.
like him, and he speaks the truth.
But again, Plagueis is in it for all of 10 seconds. It was what it was.
I don't even remember when that was. I will say
Yeah,
that I
remember
watched
like they walked off to the ship and then he just like sneaks around the corner like,
I
It
don't
was
even know.
very brief, blink and you miss it, basically.
So I downloaded the last episode on my phone right before we left for Europe, or maybe no, when we were in Europe, it came out, and I watched it in like increments of like 5 to 10 minutes, and I finished it this morning with like 7 minutes left, and I was like, really? So watching it in increments after I've been traveling and drinking all day was probably not the best plan, because I definitely don't remember that scene at all. But I never, well, I gave it my all the first couple episodes and hoped
I
was
watched it in the
better.
hotel at Barcelona, and even then I was like, a slog to get through. I watched it while drinking my Dunkin' Donuts the morning before we hopped on the ship. That's what I did. So I mean, I had some time. But overall,
but yeah, when you said talking about it tonight, I'm like, shit, I don't think I finished it.
no, I just wanted to
still had
briefly
6
like just
minutes.
give our quick 2-second thoughts because we're really here. We talked about The Boys season 5, of course, but we also just got back from a really fun vacation, man. And then we want to talk about that. This is Lauren got back yesterday. She's jet lagged to hell. It took me like,
I'm actually pretty good.
How are you good? I slept for 3 days straight. I didn't feel a thing going there, but getting back, I was fucked up. Like super fucked.
So our flight was at like not till like 10:30 yesterday morning. That's London time yesterday morning. So it was 5:30 our time. Or no, I don't know, whatever. Math is hard. But we woke up at like 5 a.m. London time. And so, so that was midnight. So we basically woke up at midnight yesterday morning. And then I don't sleep very well on planes. So I stayed up all day. By the time we got home, it was 8 o'clock here, which means it was much later for London time. So I fell asleep at 8 and woke up at 7 something in the morning. So I got 11 hours and up good. I mean, today I was very lazy. All I really did was laundry and unpack, but
yeah, I mean, the fact that you unpacked so fast, we unpacked. My mic is fucked up again. Big surprise. So as I'm not on my microphone and I'm playing around, we got back about the evening time too. Like customs and stuff really sucked. Like it's funny because like everybody was so nice in Europe, and the second we get back in Philadelphia, man, the customs guy is
we're like, oh God, we are so close to missing our flight. Somebody's gonna let us go ahead. This guy like screamed at this fat fucking job.
At that point, so this guy's screaming at us, and I'm gonna throw this thing out the window, dead ass. Like this microphone's about to throw this out the window because for whatever reason does not want to work tonight. But so I didn't even get a chance to explain. Like, hey, dude, we're very close to missing our flight. Can you?
They don't care.
Like,
they hear that all the time.
He didn't let me explain. And then we were in security. And then so we're supposed to have TSA pre-check. They wouldn't let us go through normal security because we were supposed to have it. They wouldn't let us go through TSA pre with my military ID. We had to go downstairs. This lady is actively screaming at the desk attendants about something, and the desk attendants purposely weren't helping anybody. There was a whole lot. It was a mess. But
that was funny at Heathrow. There's signs everywhere like "Do not threaten our employees."
Heathrow was an awful airport too, but not
Everyone
for those
was
reasons.
nice,
It was
but it
just
was
very
awful,
disorganized.
Well, they try to do too many things that are like when we got there to check in our bags,
It was an entire fucking mall.
But it wasn't. We were there really early, so it wasn't too bad. But it's all computer, and like everybody was having issues, and like so everybody then has to go to talk to the one human that is there.
Yeah, and the human.
And they're like, "Oh, you can't take payment on the machines," and like our tickets wouldn't allow us to like prepay. It was a freaking disaster.
It was a mess. But let's get to the good stuff, man. Let's get to the goods. We just spent, as you see here, 7 days on a Disney boat, 13 days for me total. Starting off, we flew to Barcelona, which was absolutely gorgeous. If you will, look at these babies. I got 6 of them right here as they all fall down, like the London Bridge. I might show you. I got a lot of medals here. It was fun. So we flew into Barcelona. We got there about 9 a.m. And right off the bat, we go and we met up with Lauren and them because our hotels was close. So we went right to this like really, really cool marketplace where we met up with everybody. And this was our first meal right there. We're at the market. Beautiful, man. It was amazing. Had a nice tasty beer. It was early. It was
probably jet lagged that day.
I mean, I didn't feel bad. Like I had a beer right off the bat. I don't know what I think it was just an Estella at this big fancy market in Barcelona, which is really cool. It had like a lot of stuff. So this market, as you can see, they had like cheeses, they had smoothies, they had treats. We bought a lot of like treats for the kids to try. You can get beers and wines, and everything was actually really cheap in Barcelona, surprisingly. Everything we got was basically, I mean, it was legit. Like I was buying wine for like a glass of wine, like a good pour for €3 at most. So that was really cool. But we got to meet up right away. Did that. We explored a lot. There was a lot to see in Barcelona. The one big thing, we got to see some cool churches, as you can see, Lauren and I here.
Drinking beer in front of a church. We're walking through the streets. The one cool thing is we got to buy beer to go. However, we went into some stores and they did not like the fact that we had beers. And this is a nice little coffee I had. In a really nice Christmas store, and they're like, after you've been in there 5 minutes, like, excuse me, you can't.
They're like, can you not drink in here? And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. I'm really sorry because, that's our bad. Like, we shouldn't have done that.
One of the things we learned though about Christmas in Barcelona.
Yes.
So when we first got there, before we got there with you, we went to this really cool art exhibit thing. I should find the name and post it because it was really cool. It's only been open a few months, and it's like an interactive art exhibit. And one of the things you learn is in Barcelona at Christmas time, it is bad luck if you do not have a figurine taking a shit in your nativity set. So when we learned that, we're like, well, this will be a fun souvenir if we can find one of these things. I should have grabbed it so I could show everybody. I'll have to take a picture.
You should have. Damn it.
So
how could you?
I do have a picture. I don't know if I can text it to you right now and you can post it. So we found a store that has a bunch of little clay porcelain figurines that they've made of different celebrities and characters taking a shit. So I bought a Deadpool one.
There it is. I had it. So there were a bunch of just random figurines of they're taking shits. They're pooping.
There was even Taylor Swift was even there.
It was bizarre.
It was so crazy. Bizarre. And then what's funny, so I bought the Deadpool one. They had a Wolverine one too, but I liked how the Deadpool looked better, and he's red for Christmas.
Yes.
And so they wrap him up really good, and I put him in my suitcase, and he was in one of our carry-ons, and as we're going through Heathrow Airport, my bag gets flagged. And then they show me on the x-ray, they're like, this is what set it off. And I'm like, oh, that's Deadpool pooping.
Oh, sorry. This is Deadpool poop. And they were probably like, what?
And the guy had no personality at all. And I'm explaining to him what it is, thinking it's funny. Oh,
they never do.
Barcelona.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
I feel like there are some TSA that have a lot of personality and will talk to you and laugh with you. This guy was just like
The
stone
Richmond
cold.
folks
Oh
are
my
nice.
God,
The Boise
very
folks were pretty nice
serious.
every time I've gone through.
He wasn't rude. He just did not care at all. And I had to completely unwrap this pooping Deadpool and show it to him.
I would have been. I am way too unserious for these government type jobs, man. Because I would have been dying laughing, and I would have confiscated it just for my own self. But so, like, you can't take this through here, and be like, haha, you're going home with me.
Oh, well, my daughter learned. So my daughter is not.
Yeah,
21.
Kaylee. Oh man,
She's 20. So after we went through security and everything in London, she bought a bottle of gin, and
this
they
is just
put
too
the
big.
No, well, yeah, it was not a little bottle. It was over 6 ounces or 3 ounces, whatever the hell it is. So they put the TSA thing on it. No big deal. She brings on the plane. I did not know that she did this. So then when we land in Miami, you have to get your bags. You have to recheck your bags and you have to go through security. She forgot she had it, or she could have put it into the actual bags.
Come on, Kaylee.
Still had it in her carry-on, got flagged because she had a full bottle of gin in her bag. And I'm like, what are you doing? And so now Brielle forgot underwear on a Mickey boat last year, and so every time, and she has a pack of Minnie Mouse underwear that we got in the thing. So every trip we go on now, it's Brielle, do you have underwear? So now for Kaylee, it'll be Kaylee, do you have a giant bottle of gin in your bag?
That's man, like that sucks because I hate to see that go to waste. Hate to see it.
Yeah.
But at least she got her bottle of wine that we brought back onto the Mickey boat for her.
She did. Her bottle of wine made it safe, and she got a little bottle of mead at the Shakespeare Globe that I think.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know they had mead there.
She has to wait till Christmas for Santa to deliver it. So we saw a Shakespeare play at the actual Shakespeare Globe, and she picked out a little ornament and a miniature bottle of mead, and it says like
that's
Shakespeare
so cool.
Distillery. So
well, before we get to London, we got something. We went to some really cool things. So we did do the La Sagrada Familia, like
which was
church.
A lot of people are that's an experience.
Okay, it was hot. There was
Not
no
even
air
the heat.
conditioning in that place.
There was no air conditioning in Europe, apparently.
You're right. Everybody was Europe has no air.
Everyone's like, Florida's so hot. At least it's cold inside.
At least I can go inside and get some reprieve. Not in Europe. Good God. But you're right, because you go up these stairs to the tower. So there's these towers. I don't think you can see in the picture, but they're the very big towers at the very top up there. You can go in those and look out the whole city. Well,
which is beautiful.
It's beautiful. However, that's not the scary part, because you take an elevator up there. The scary part is going down. I didn't care, but like my daughter ski, it's these very tight, long spiral staircases with no handrails.
And there's like a hole in the middle that like one of the
there's
kids
a hole in the middle looking straight down.
I literally, because I led the way.
Minutes.
But I led the way down, and we were all there. So there was 24 of us.
Yeah.
And so as I'm the first one walking down, I literally had my hand over the hole because I could just see Logan like going right down there.
I thought Harper for sure.
I wish I had videoed
down.
everybody coming out of there, because then you come out one by one. It's very narrow, so only one person can walk at a time. Like the kids can't even walk next to you; they're walking behind you. And so as everybody's coming out, everybody's pouring sweat.
Well, I saw people coming out. I was like, "Oh wow, it looks hot." And then because people were like sweaty, wiping their sweat off. But then I didn't realize, like you said, like going down. I was like, "Oh."
And also, I think some people are nervous and like we're having anxiety. It is very claustrophobic in there, but like the comments of our specific group were just so funny. Like Ski was like, "That was terrible," and like
there's like 25 of us all going down together
at the same time that people are in line waiting to go up, and it was like people coming off of a scary roller coaster. It was so funny.
It was something.
And it's church. It's an active church.
It is. It was beautiful, and I mean, God, it was really beautiful inside. I thought it was great. It's still under construction.
Over 100 years under
Yeah,
construction.
like that was cool, but yeah, it was just funny seeing everybody walking in and out, and I was like, oh God, this is crazy. But also, the day before, actually, I forgot to mention, we got to see some pretty cool comic book shops. We went to, I believe the first one we went to was
Norma's.
Freaks.
Oh, yeah.
We did Freaks. It was like basically kind of a horror themed comic. Everything was Spanish. I thought that was really cool. And then, yes, we went to Norma Comics where there were really cool things. So it had like a lot of comic books in there. So one side was all toys where we got to see things like the Magneto, the Cyclops, this Wolverine figure, this life-size Iron Man. You can purchase all of this. But then Lauren also, because I posted it on Twitter, she found Minor Threats, which is from Dark Horse Comics. Jordan
When
Blum,
we knew it had
Pat
just
Oswalt.
been reprinted in Spanish. So I was
Yes.
like on a mission to find it. And
We
did.
finally found it, and so we did. And then Pat and Oswalt and them, I tagged them, and they shared it all out. But she found it in Spain. It was one of the more beautiful comic book shops I've ever been in. Like very pristine, very well kept. They had a lot of cool stuff in there. Obviously, you're not going to find like new comic book day Wednesday type things because it would cost a lot of money to be sending them over. So there are a lot of it's all trades for the most part, except for like some of the Spider-Man or the Marvel Ultimates that are out
I
right
didn't even
now.
think about that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it was it was really cool because it just was a very immaculate comic book shop, and all the things they were like, we were basically in comic book row, it felt like at this point. That was very, very beautiful. And then that evening, actually, we got to go to a really, I think it was called Espiga something, like I forget the name.
Oh, I don't remember.
But we found a
It was
brewery.
right by the church.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. People always say it's good to unwind, but that's easier said than done. The exception, Chumba Casino. They actually make it easier done than said, or at least the same. Chumba Casino is an online social casino with hundreds of casino-style games like slots and blackjack. Play for fun. Play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sign up now and collect your free welcome bonus at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for 50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow. It's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Yeah,
Let me
so
see,
right by
I
the
can-
church, Lauren and I went into this bottle shop because we wanted to buy some beers. So we found this I think it was like Espiga or something like that, Espiga, and we ended up finding like this really cool bottle. The guy was very knowledgeable, very, very friendly. We got to have, had a sour. Lauren had their hazy. Kaylee also had their sour. Very, very good
yeah.
beers. Very small shop. But the guy was super friendly, super knowledgeable. He wanted to talk to us about beer, and like they have multiple different breweries. They won multiple awards. Like it was a very beautiful bottle shop, and we bought a few bottles. I have the rice lager actually in my fridge still because we weren't sure. We were going to like this famous Barcelona garden afterwards. We didn't know if they would let us bring in beer or not. So we only bought a couple cans just in case they confiscated. But
We bought the
unbeknownst to
Pliny
us,
one.
we did. They had a Pliny
I
one
drank mine
actually.
on the boat. Let me see if I
it
can
was-
find that. So
well, the
yeah,
guy
it was
explained.
a Spiga. Go ahead.
What did the guy say to you? Because he explained what it was. Because he explained the Pliny bit. It was basically the Pliny bit was a play on Russian River, but also their head brewer or their owner.
Yeah, it was
'Cause
a
he
nod to
talked
that.
to you
It
a
was
lot more
called
than me.
Pliny the Uncle, and it was a West Coast IPA. So it had to do, with somebody they worked with, and it was a nod to Pliny the Elder at Russian River. And I guess they've met the brewer or something. And like one of the guys had recently been to Florida and was like talking about tripping animals, and like he had been in Orlando. Like it's so funny because it was like I was in Puerto Rico a few months ago and somebody's like, oh yeah, I was just recently at Broken Strings. It's like amazing how small the craft beer community is worldwide. And yeah, they're talking about specific beers that are brewed in Florida that I was like, yeah, I know that beer. That's a fantastic beer. And then we saw Tripping Animals collab in London.
We did. Yeah. So the beer it's going to get even weirder when we talk about London in a minute. Super strange. But the brewery is beautiful, man. If you ever get to Barcelona, check out Espiga. Very, very great bottle shop. Very good brews. They even have brews from like France and the Netherlands there that you can buy. It was awesome, I thought.
Yeah, that place was fantastic. That was one of those we like searched up because we had a little bit of time to kill before going to our next ticketed event. And we found that it was very tiny though. Josh and Carrie waited outside with the little kids while Matt.
That's why I felt rushed. I didn't want to stay in there just because they were out there with the kids. So I felt kind of bad.
Well, yeah, 100%. And they were like the only ones that didn't have tables outside.
Yeah,
I was like,
everybody else had tables.
Yeah,
but we also went to that other like
Olgod.
Yeah, Olgod.
Yeah, OLGOD, and it was a guy from Denmark came to Barcelona and opened the brewery, and it was a variety of different beers, like all sorts of different styles. Yes, and what was really good is like we went to the brewery before you got there, and then we went with you, and then like 2 seconds around the corner from our hotel was a craft beer bar owned by the same guy and had all the beers. So that was fantastic. I wish they had better merch. Like none of the breweries, I didn't buy anything at any of the breweries.
None of them really had good merch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. But then obviously we got to go on the big Mickey boat, which was pretty rad. I mean, I thought I'd never been on a cruise before. So I was really excited to do that.
As somebody who's never done, what was your first experience like getting on the boat? We were like,
you kind of go. I was actually really surprised by how streamlined it was. So we get there. Our check-in time was supposed to be like 12:45. We got there at 11:30 because we were time. Honestly, I was through the check-in line. They took our bags right away, and I was like, "Hey, wait, I'm not supposed to check in until 12:45." He didn't speak English. He took my bags. I was like, "Well, they got our tags. Cool." And we waited in line not even 30 minutes, and they were bringing people on early. The whole thing was really easy. They scan our tickets, easy. We go inside, passports, easy. And before I know it, we're on the boat, and like you're walking on the boat, and I didn't realize this was going to happen. So as you walk into the boat, it's lined with the Disney workers and like, "Hey, what's your last name or your family name?" And I was like, "Roth." And they're like, "Welcome the Roth family." I was like, "Oh, this is awkward." Like Erica and them, I think, were right above us, and they saw it and videoed it. I was like, I'm trying to get the kids going. I didn't know what was going on, so I couldn't like fully take in the moment. But everyone's there like clapping, and as soon as you walk in, it makes me think of that scene in Titanic. Obviously, okay, it sounds bad, but you know that scene,
like when he dies or she dies,
when everyone's dead and they like walk into the big ballroom. Mm-hmm. That's what I felt like because you walk into the boat.
Well, that's a terrible feeling to have when you get on your first cruise.
Okay, I meant it less in like a death and sinking way, and more of a when you walk in, it's like this big. It's the atrium. It's big and beautiful, and everyone's there, and you're just like, "Oh, it's fucking Donald Duck. It's Mickey," and you're just like, "Wow, I'm a kid again." You're immersed. Whoa, it was so cool. And then you're like, "Hey, meet us up at the kids club." And so we go, all right, cool. We go right up to the kids club. And then even that was like,
when you get on the boat, the kids club is open house. So the parents can go and check out the stuff too.
And so like we go in there to check it out, and there's us at the kids club. But like, as you can see behind us, like they have a Toy Story room. They had a video game room. They had the Millennium Falcon. They had
a whole full-size R2.
There was everything in there, and my kids were complaining about this place. I was like, dude, if I was a kid and my parents left me there, I'd have the time of my fucking life. But I get it, I guess. You want to be doing what the adults are doing? We weren't doing anything but playing trivia and drinking.
Logan played a lot of Uno with the cast members. He loves Uno.
Well, like,
like, what'd you do in there? He's like, I played Uno.
Well, they played games. They did game shows. They did a lot of cool stuff in there that I thought was
they do
pretty
pajama
cool.
Parties, and they have characters come in there and do stuff with them.
But like, this is one of the cool things that they had on the boat that we spent a lot of time in. This was the district lounge where we played a lot of trivia, and that was pretty cool. I didn't expect I got the coffees. I heard about the coffees right away. So obviously there's like a Darth Vader I had to get
Yeah, it's
in
one of
my
the few things
coffee.
that are not included, but totally worth it.
It
'Cause
wasn't, yeah.
the
And like
included coffee sucks. Oh, you got Black Panther?
I got Black Panther and Iron Man on another day.
What?
Yeah, I did. The beer selection wasn't the greatest, but like their
It's not the
alcohol,
worst though.
it was actually good. The London Pride was good, I thought. And then what was the Meantime IPA was pretty good, I thought,
Oh,
as
it's pretty
well.
good.
I had espresso martinis. Their drinks of the day were actually really good. A lot of them had pineapple in it, which is like my favorite. So I mean, that was really cool.
When
I
you
thought,
can restock with your own beers, which is what I end up drinking a lot.
well, yeah, we brought our own beers. At one point, enough of us had brought wine from Spain that we did a big,
You
wine
guys were
tasting.
all a little toasty at that wine tasting.
Oh, well, because we had like 7 or 8 bottles, and there was like 6 or 7
You
of
bring it
us.
in straight, because I'm not a big wine drinker,
That
and
was
so I
the
came
last day
over
too.
well, you guys did it twice,
Mhm.
and so the first time you guys did it, like you guys were bringing in strangers. Like there was another couple I had never met.
Well,
that was
Tracy
over
met
there.
them. Apparently, they're from Jamaica. So Tracy met this other
Mhm.
couple, and we had so much wine. We're like, "Hey guys, get in here. You want this?"
Yeah.
And the second time we did it, multiple of the Disney workers were like, "Damn, you guys know how to party." And I was like, "You want to join us?" Obviously, they can't. They can't drink. Period. Even on the shore days, they're not allowed to even have a sip of wine. If Disney finds out,
What?
they're toast. Yeah, that because we were
When they're
talking to the
off?
guy Ashley.
Oh, that's
He was
not
like, "Well, we're
fair.
gonna go to a couple of the people who live here's house," and we're like, "Oh, you're gonna have like some wine?" He's like, "No, if Disney found out, we'd get terminated." I'm like, "Damn,
Wow.
that sucks." So
Well,
like
that's
that
only
sucks.
for
Like
the Disney college program.
yeah, like Disney would terminate them from the wine. So we obviously did the big wine tastings, but the way Disney really does their cruise ships was immaculate. Like the traffic in and out of the dinners, the animators palette was my favorite, and I actually have some of our famous drawings here if I can find them in a second, because the one night was the night you have to draw yourself, and I thought that was interesting and cool. So like, see, here's some of the drawings right here that you had to do. So that
Of
one right here on the
of
left with the
Logan?
Hulk, that's me on the left. I think that's Carrie in the middle, and
I
I
think
think that's
Logan's
Logan on the
the one
right.
on the right.
So like mine is on the left, Carrie's is in the middle, I think Logan's on the right. So you get to do that, and they animate it. So they put on like this big show with your drawings. It was really fancy.
And they
I thought,
interact it with like be our guest and stuff.
yeah, it was really cool. I almost left because I
Well,
was going to take the
did
kids to
you
go play
see
Marvel trivia or Star Wars
right, and
trivia.
Erica told you not to, and then your Harper went to the bathroom, maybe with Erica's Harper,
She
and when
did.
it started, Erica got up and ran to go
She did.
because
She
she's like
yanked him out of the bathroom. Like,
she
what are you
didn't want your
doing?
Harper to miss it because she'd never seen it. She's like, "You can't miss the show."
It was really cool. I will give them that. Like the Disney, I will probably never. I won't say never because I want to do like the Antarctica cruise. I'm sure I will, but I might realistically. Like Disney was amazing because there was even a pirate theme night. So they give you like the bandanas in the room. I had a Roosevelt's theme shirt every night. No big deal. I go big. But they give you the bandana. So we all dressed up kind of like pirates, and they had like a big dance party. Captain
My
Hook
shirt
takes over
has
the boat.
Pirate Angel, Thor.
I had a Kraken on my shirt. So like that was really cool. Like the themes that they do, like, and Lauren and I, coincidentally wore Ahsoka on the same day. No big deal there. Twins. And then of course, like we played trivia, man. The big thing was the first couple of days we were at sea, we played trivia. I kept losing. So it became like a running joke. And then Lauren,
Erica was going hard on you.
I know, like everybody wore their medals the first day and I didn't win one. So they were like talking shit and they wore their medals. So I was like, all right, that sucks. But as you can see, I didn't stay down for long because
you were the youngest, which usually I'm the youngest, so I get all the shit. So all the young insults were directed to you.
They were. I was the youngest, but as you can see, I can take it in stride because Lauren and I did the Marvel trivia, and we got 20 out of 20 questions. We went to the first trivia of the day actually was the one where I won Goofy. That was general.
Kaylee, right?
I was with Kaylee, Ski, and Carrie, and we won general knowledge trivia that morning. That's medal number 1 right there. No big deal. Gold medal number 1, if you will.
I have no idea.
I do. And then medal number 2 is when Lauren and I did MCU trivia. We won in a tiebreaker, which was the famous, when was Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, and Scarlet.
This one right here was winning number 2, and we guessed 1965. It was 1964. Obviously, we decided to split the medals with the other team just because I felt it was the right thing to do. I mean, There was two of us, two of them. It was the right thing to do. And then, we ended up winning another Marvel trivia. No big deal. I can't remember which one this one was, but I won some sort of trivia. Don't remember. But anyways, the big one, Lauren and I went toe to toe. We did the Marvel Superfan one night after dinner. And what that is,
yeah, go ahead.
This is the big one right here, folks, where you go up against, what was there, like 20, 30 people total?
I feel like there was more at once, but what they do is they ask like filter questions. The second you get one wrong, you're out.
Basically, it's every man for themselves. You go, and if you get a question wrong, you're out. And so we went down, and then Lauren and I were in the final four. And
how to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1, go to chumbacasino.com.
Chumbacasino.com. Got it.
Step 2, collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3, play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4, unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow. It's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
What, like, I gave you the Justin Hammer one and you gave me another answer because we blurted out. But then that kid Mateo ended up getting it. And it was Mateo versus Matt. Very, very poetic.
I forget what the one I wasn't fast enough.
What? Yeah, there was one.
Because in the final round, when you get down to 6, you have to be the first one to raise your hand and then answer.
There's a wand.
Yeah, like a little lightsaber. And Josh is like, you weren't raising your hand right away. You were thinking about the answer and then raising your hand, where you should have done the opposite.
You should have raised because then they give you time. Yeah, that's what I caught on quick. Because at first I was doing the same, but then I was like, wait. And so I just
doesn't count against you if you know it, if you get it wrong. So yeah, that's what I should have been doing. But it was funny. One of the questions, I raised my hand and I thought I was first and you were first. And it was, what show was Wong and
you yelled out Sopranos, and I definitely was going to say The Bachelor.
Yeah, and so I was just like Sopranos, and then I covered my mouth because I was like, I wasn't even called. It was you.
You gave me that one.
I couldn't remember.
It was Justin Hammer because you remembered Hammer.
Well, they said Hammer. They were like, who was in charge of Hammer Corporation or whatever, and I was like, Mr. Hammer.
Yeah, and I was like, Justin Hammer, and they're like, well, it's actually Lawrence, and so Lauren got to take that. So I mean, it evened out, but it was funny how that went down. And then the final round,
you had to be the first two people that got 3 questions right the fastest.
Yeah,
so I had no speed.
Mateo and
I definitely would have won. I think in the final round.
I think you would have. I would have been toast because the final round was hard. Oh, not it was.
Definitely would have
easy.
beat the other guy.
The problem
is the final round, you just get they just show pictures.
The final round, you have 35 seconds to name whoever is on the picture the fast. And so my problem is I knew who they were, but like, for example, you have to be quick. Yeah. And so they showed like Thanos at one point, and I accidentally said Thor because my brain just said Thor, and I was like, idiot. So you have to be really, really quick, and I ended up winning by 2. I thought for sure I lost because I kept saying the wrong person because it was like you had to be really quick, and I was like, I know who this is. I just can't get it out fast enough. But that was fun. But Lauren and I ended up winning 3 out of 3 Marvel trivias, and I won that 4th one. So we went for 3 for 3. We did. We actually nailed the last one we did. We wanted to get her daughter and Erica's son their medals. Their thing was they're the only 2 without medals. And so we did
And
a
that was
Marvel.
again a tiebreaker, and we got the tiebreaker.
It was a tiebreaker, and it was what year was Black Panther created? In I guessed 1964, just out of
No,
my
it was
ass.
66. We got it on
66.
the
That's right. I was like, I feel like it's 1966. 64 is Scarlet and Quicksilver, and we got it right on the money.
64 was like so many things. Fantastic
Right.
Four, Avengers, X-Men, yeah. So yeah, I knew Black Panther wasn't right away. So yeah, that was a great guess.
We got it right on the nose, and we ended up winning. Got them their medals. That was like the last day. It was a great send off.
Because she hadn't gotten a
Dude,
medal.
she was so pumped. Like she was jumping and yeah, like it was awesome to see because I was like, yep, I feel that.
But Austin got the one question that if we hadn't gotten right, because so one of the questions was one of the teachers from No Way Home, not JB Smoove, the other guy.
Oh yeah, he was Mr. Hair or something like that.
They're like, what other MCU movie was he in? And it was the Hulk. And at first
I
had
Hulk,
no idea.
yeah.
And then Austin was like, I think it's the Hulk. And once he said that, I was like, oh yeah, I think he's the guy
ordered
that,
the pizza.
Yeah, orders, and like suddenly it made sense, but I don't think I would have pulled that out on my own without him mentioning it.
No, he saved our ass on that one. Because
and you often, Incredible Hulk is part of the MCU, but it's also a little bit of an outlier.
That was Edward Norton's too, and you're like, you forget about it. I mean, you really kind of do, and so he really saved us, and he earned that medal. Like he actually put in. I tried to get him Star Wars, and I went
Star
19.
Wars is hard to get.
Well, I went 19 for 20 in Star Wars, and ended up losing because I put down, it was like R5 had a defaulted like regulator, and I put true, but it was at R2D2's like word, and I was like, why did I put true? That's clearly false. So I got that wrong. I got bounced out, but it is what it is. But we stopped at some ports
people
too.
Always like you always get those people that are just like
that one kid.
Okay, like the one guy. Yeah, we did the Star Wars trivia for the one, and then they asked where the twins were born, and I don't know. I think the multiple choice was on a spaceship or whatever, and then somebody's like, oh, they were born on this ship and this asteroid.
They knew the exact ship and the actual belt.
What the hell?
It was.
Like, how did you know this?
It was a little aggressive. Yeah. There was no like Star Wars is like MCU is one thing, but Star Wars is like a whole other level of knowledge for some people. Like I know Star Wars, but not to like the level of some people. It was crazy.
Right. But
we
did the advanced Marvel. We won with like 13 out of 20. That was nuts.
You see these, Megan? I'm not a liar. I speak for myself. Yes. Megan says the Michael Phelps of trivia. Yeah, oh god. But there were 3 port stops in a row, which I kind of hated because it was 3 in a row and the kids were all dead by day 2. But the first day was Lisbon. Lisbon started out rocky, not gonna lie. My son got lost in Lisbon, Portugal, and now
I was like, oh my god, you know what Logan told me the other day? He goes, that was really scary when Oliver got lost. I thought I was never gonna see my friend again. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know you felt like that.
Well, Oliver that day, he was like, I can't get this out of my mind. Like I was like, dude, this makes me feel like, oh fuck, like okay. So what happened was there was 24 of us. We learned very early on.
Reason we decided to stick together at first, which was not a good idea.
We learned our lesson quick. So there was 24 of us walking through the very tiny streets of Portugal. Like these streets were skinny.
Yeah.
And we get by the archway
and hilly.
It was very hilly, very skinny. And so there at one point, a large group intersected ours. Oliver was looking at a sign. Before he knows it, he doesn't see us. And this all happened within a 10-minute span. So it's like we were very lucky. Because one thing I really do with our kids is like I drill them. What's our phone number? Blah, blah, blah. Because if it was Harper, she probably wouldn't have remembered. Who knows what would have happened. But Oliver was very smart. So he got lost. He obviously was crying and freaking out as any kid would. But he was smart because he saw somebody with a Disney shirt and he went to them and said, hey, I lost my family. And they're like, okay. And he knew Carrie's phone number. So Carrie got a phone number from some Portugal number and she was like, what the hell? Like, she ignored it at first. And then I was at the front of the group. And so she was like, hey, where's Oliver? And that's when we all stopped and we're like, oh shit. Josh, luckily he took off running. Like I love Josh and Ski because I could not run down that hill because I probably would have tripped, fell and died. Because it was a very steep hill, very uneven.
That was very hilly.
Josh took off in flip-flops nonetheless. Like I owe my life to Josh and Ski because they both took off running. I was moving fast as I could without, but in my head, I'm also trying to like think about I'm trying to like, okay, he's got where I'm trying to think. Carrie's trying to think. She luckily we got down to the bottom of the hill. She called the number back and she was like, this person was like, hey, are you Oliver's mom? Very, very, they didn't really understand English. They're like, where are you at? We didn't really know how to describe. So I like panicked and gave Ski the phone on accident because I was like, dude, I can't
Ski
think.
doesn't speak Spanish.
And Ski, but I panicked because I was like, I don't know where I'm at. Like, Ski, please help me. Because like in my head, I'm trying to figure out like, where am I at? Where's my son at? Like I couldn't think straight. So I just panicked and handed Ski the phone, which I feel bad about. But luckily they took him to the police station and Josh found him right away. Everything was good within 10 minutes. All the kids hugged. It was very cute. But it took us a little bit to come down.
Chocolate, and Oliver's like, "Where's my chocolate?"
Oliver did not forget that chocolate.
Did not.
But it was a cute moment. All happened within 10 minutes. Very scary because it feels longer. But now we joke around because every time we saw a police station, it's like, oh, Oliver, you're gonna get your passport stamped at this police station. Like you got picked up for the very first time.
Josh even said the next day he saw a police station. He's like, "Hey, should we go save Oliver's there?"
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, like the 2 truths and a lie one day is going to be my first interaction with police was I was picked up at a police station in Portugal at 8 years old, and we can laugh about it now, but at the time,
exactly.
Like,
yeah. It was terrifying in the moment. Cause then like I started, cause there was a group of us. So then I started wondering and backtracking where I went because we all got the air tag. And
but I didn't have mine that day because I couldn't remember that day.
Right. And then there was a day in London where I forgot to put it on Logan, and instantly my head went straight to that day with Oliver. Like, of course he gets lost. The one day I couldn't remember where I put him. I put him in the lock, like stupid. But moving on to the happier, we decided to split off. We went with you and Kaylee, which to the oldest bookstore, which is awesome. Oh yeah.
And then
time after that.
Yeah, we went to the Portugal Beer Museum, and there's 3 beers here. One was like a lemon sour, which was okay.
I think we left like a lot of that on the table.
Yeah, I mean, the very, very cool place. It was small. You move through it kind of quick. You have these like cool things, but it was a cool experience, I would say. Nope, that's not the picture I was looking for.
Well,
it was a really good experience.
I learned
that's
a
not
lot.
it either.
And Matt and I are like, we really didn't learn anything, but it was really cool because it wasn't about so if you go to the beer museum in Lisbon, Portugal, it is really cool. It's worth it. It was like what, $10 or 10 euros.
It was very cheap to go to.
And we got the free right. So I bought it for Kaylee.
We basically had 6 beers for free because they gave us 6 beer bottles, which was really cool.
Yeah, so that was really cool. But like the history is not about beer in Lisbon, it's about the beer making process in general, and they talk about like Ninkasi, like the beer goddess and whatnot. But it was I thought it was worth it for the money. My dad did it when he was in Lisbon, and he said he didn't think it was worth it, but I think that's because there's so much to do, and it's just when we're doing a port day, like when you're traveling via cruise, you want to maximize.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
you do. Yeah, I mean, it went too fast. Harper's back there taking pictures. My daughter was taking pictures on Carrie's phone, but like Kaylee and I and you and Carrie all got to like try these beers. It was a very cool place, and we got to I actually have a couple. I have a hazy, and then I have the triple nipple in my fridge. I brought home with me.
Oh, see, I drank all mine on the boat.
I wanted to bring them home.
In the IPA, which was funny. That was a Barcelona beer. I don't even know what else I got. I'm sure I'll post them on the socials at some point.
Right, but it was Portugal. Lisbon was like my favorite spot because after we came down, Kaylee and I walked to the bakery. There's bakeries everywhere in Spain and Portugal. Like,
oh, and you got to get the pasties. Or
I got their little pastries. Yeah, they were delicious. They had like this really good cream filling inside, and I was blown away. I was like,
yeah,
wow, this, because Kaylee was talking them up, and I was like, all right, I got to come down. We stopped for a bathroom break. We were all just kind of frazzled. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get water because Europeans also hate water. Apparently.
Oh my God, seriously, they must all be so dehydrated.
Literally, it's easier to get wine than it is water.
Yeah,
yeah, like it's easier to get alcohol or a pastry than it is water. You can't get public water.
Water refilling stations, for the love of
none. You had to buy bottles everywhere, and so that sucked because I did not drink nearly enough water. I was dehydrated to death. So I bought a bottle of water in the pastry. It was delicious. But Lisbon, honestly, was beautiful. Like that was Carrie and I's like favorite spot of the stop. Granted, it was beautiful. And then the next day was Vigo, and so we went to Vigo where nobody spoke English, which I loved even more because it was a really interesting. I saw like this.
They're like
really
all
old
blending
fort.
into one now. Which one was Vigo?
No, Vigo was the second stop. It was the hills. You guys, we ended up meeting up with you at Pitts. So Pitts is where we had this picture. As soon as I can pull it back up, It was the really good burger place where Brielle ate that disgusting. That's not it. She ate that really ugly, disgusting burger with all the cheese, like the mac and cheese. She ate the mac and cheese burger.
Oh,
So we
speaking
went
of
to.
Brielle, you can come in. This child just walked in here. Come here. Come on. If you're going to walk in here and interrupt the live podcast, come show what you just
Come
did
on
to your
in.
face.
What'd you do to your face?
I was just talking about a burger you ate. Let's go.
Nope,
Come
that's
on.
not the spot. I was talking about the
You don't want to
the
come on
burger
here,
she
Papa
ate.
Elf?
I don't want people to see me.
Then
I
why'd you
wanna
come in
see.
here interrupting me when I'm live?
Because I wanted it to be funny. I thought it was
It's very funny. You did a fantastic job.
I need
you
to see this
weirdo.
now.
Come
on.
on.
The people demand it. The comments are saying, please show us. The comments are demanding it. What is your face? This is the place where we had the really good. We had the good beers. The hazies weren't bad.
Oh, that's
They
right.
They didn't do beer to go, but Brielle had a really disgusting looking cheeseburger where her hands were covered in cheese and she like was touching things and it was gross. And Carrie was like, "Ew." Yeah. See, Megan's saying, "Please show us the Papa Elf." Come on.
I just texted to you. I texted to Matt. Can he show the picture? Yeah, you came in here to interrupt a live podcast, and you're not gonna like come on.
All right.
He's laughing now.
We'll maybe post it later. It's good. Brielle. So you see, it's a good
Grandma
picture.
says to send her a picture.
We'll post on the socials later. But so
I usually
we did
don't
that.
post the kids on the socials, but
I don't either.
She's
good.
all decked out right now. So
we did that one, went to the boat, but then we went. Our stickers, by the way, are everywhere. So we're in a sticker in a really cool place in Portugal and Spain. We went to La Coruna. Then La Coruna was where that was the last final stop where
that was
I
the
went.
octopus place.
Yeah, we didn't get really. I walked all the way and I got to see the oldest lighthouse in the world right here. It was all about it's the Tour de Hercules.
That's Hercules, right? Hercules.
Yes, that is Hercules. That's the oldest lighthouse in the world. It allegedly, according to the ancient Romans who make up their history, trust me, Kaylee and I had an in-depth conversation about this. It was founded in 61 BC by Julius Caesar, and production on this here lighthouse began in 1 AD, and it was originally built as like a defense thing.
It seemed like it changed a lot too. I was surprised when they gave me like a pamphlet on the bus and they're like, it's taller than the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, it was tall. Like, and we walked up all them stairs and down them stairs. And again, it's very tight spiral staircase. We did that. We went to the very top. It was really cool. Speaking of which, real quick, in Vigo at one of the breweries we went to. No, this is Lisbon. Remember we went to that really good place was it Lisbon?
Yes.
This was the punk rock brewery in Lisbon.
After the beer museum, and then we went to another brewery in Vigo.
We went to another brewery in Lisbon. And this is where we went. It was a punk rock brewery, which is really rad. They were playing
and then what did we
music that did not match the music video on the TV, but it made it even better. Like Blink-182 was playing on the loudspeaker while
they played Blink more than once.
They played a lot of Blink. It was really cool. I am too. Megan says she's a sucker for old stuff. The oldest, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this was awesome. I also fell asleep on the steps of it because I can fall asleep anywhere. Our kids, not impressed. Us, I was pretty impressed. We walked around, like, we did 8 miles of walking around this, the old lighthouse, and saw a lot of naked old people, which is weird, at their beaches too. That was kind of weird. But then, perhaps the most off-putting thing, hey, it's Papa Smurf. There she is.
Okay.
We're going to move on to what my kids ate at this place in La Coruna, which was whatever this burger is.
That's terrifying.
I ordered a burger for my kids and I asked she's like kind of like a grandma to me. She's Spanish. She says she thinks it's like ham or sausage of sorts. I don't know, but Oliver thought it was the greatest thing he's ever tasted. In which case I was going to go ahead and let him get lost again. And Megan says, hey, she looks amazing. But yeah, whatever that burger was, I have no idea.
When we were in Vigo, we went to that market and then we went to that other brewery that had good burgers.
I went to Pitts was the name of the place we went, which is really cool. And then
your pictures popping up are so out of order.
I don't mean to prop the pictures. I didn't mean to click on that. So we went to London after the boat got off Southampton. We caught the train to London. Taking a train with a lot of luggage, stressful. Their taxis, adorable. But Carrie and I, the kids, the first day we ended up going to Big Ben. We went to Buckingham Palace. The Queen lived here before she died, but now it's the Prince and whoever else.
She died?
This is Buckingham Palace, as you can see here, which is really cool. Harper did not love it because she had to walk and she was awful. My hotel actually was super nice. It was in Waterloo, and it had this place called Hercules right across the street on Hercules Street. And this is their version of a hazy IPA. Now,
looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow. It's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
I thought it was good. It's called Even Sharks Need Water. Now, their hazies don't taste like our hazies. Their hazies are a little bit more watery, and as you can see, a little less color to it, but it was still very good.
Yeah.
And then Big Ben, as you can see, we walked over to Big Ben.
Which
really
Big Ben
cool.
is not the name of the clock tower. It is the name of the bell inside of the tower. I do not remember what the actual tower is called, like Allison Tower or something.
I don't either.
But everybody calls it Big Ben.
You should. Basically, every movie involves London. That was it. That was Big Ben. So that was pretty cool. By the way, real quick, this was a statue of Hercules that I was trying to find.
The Elizabeth Tower.
La Coruna. This was like he's like riding a boat, and this was really cool in La Coruna, Spain, real quick. But yeah, so this whole big thing, this is like basically their Parliament Row. So Parliament goes down. They're having a protest about leaving Brexit. And from there, we walked to Leicester Square. Of course, we saw the double-decker bus with the Deadpool and Wolverine on the side of it, which was really cool.
We kept seeing that every time.
We saw it every time, yeah.
Cool, yeah.
But
it didn't
inside,
get old.
We found a Lego store, and now obviously Harry Potter is very big marketed there. And so these are all Legos, like obviously Bellatrix, and you have Nagini and Voldemort. And then my pictures are all fucked up. Sorry. I can't find my other Lego pictures, but we saw like William Shakespeare. We saw a bunch of different other Lego Harry Potter things, which were so cool to me. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever getting to see that. And then there was also this really cool bakery called Chocolate Dino Company. They're very involved in the Comic-Con scene in London, actually. They sell like 2,000 cookies in a weekend at the Comic-Cons there, is what they were saying. They started during COVID, locally owned, like they got laid off from their jobs. So he just started baking and doing like a home delivery service for their baking. So they have cookies, they have like ham and cheese croissants, chocolate croissants, coffee. Honestly, this was like my favorite bakery in London. I'm just going to give them a quick plug because I think if you're in London, you got to pay them a visit. They're right around the corner in Waterloo there. We went to the Three Stags, which is where I got this fish and chips, which their fish and chips was outrageously good. I had fish and chips everywhere I went. We went to the Borough Market. We went to a really good brewery that one day too, the day we saw Deadpool Wolverine, but this is the German place that we all kind of went to. It was like a really cool underground, like German.
It was like so much bigger than it looked too, because you walk into this thing that looked like it's under a tunnel and it just kept going.
It was like tunnels off of the tunnel, and it was really cool. It's like a big entertainment thing. And then perhaps me, you, and Erica, we found Winchester Walk.
What?
We got to see that, which is really
It
cool.
wasn't as haunted as I expected. Maybe because the
Nope.
Winchesters had been there.
Not too many Winchesters. This is a group picture, by the way, of all the, like I said, when we had like 23 people. These are all
that
the
was the day
adults.
that half of us won trivia and you
Yeah,
didn't.
first day of the cruise. But another thing, I forget the name, was we visited where they filmed the original site in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone of the Leaky Cauldron. And I had a butterbeer latte, which was delicious. The coffee shop there apparently is having trouble like getting their business known, even though they're like right there in the market where Harry Potter was first filmed. They were talking about it. So I don't remember their name, but go to the original site of Leaky Cauldron.
It's
I'm
in
literally standing in the
Leadenhall
doorway.
Market.
That's what it is. Leadenhall Market.
Leadenhall Market.
Yes.
There's a few restaurants there and whatnot. And it's just very quick. They just have the one door there. But Kaylee and Brielle did the full Harry Potter tour, which
that's right. I didn't ask them how that was. I forgot.
Brielle said she enjoyed it more than she expected. They said it was really cool. They saw they've kept some of these sets pristine.
Wow.
But their one thing that they said, so they ended up getting because obviously they had our credit card, but again, Kaylee is an adult as well. So she used her own money and bought the trio of butterbeer stuff, and it was butterbeer ice cream and butterbeer drink and something else. They said it was not as good as Universal. That Universal's butterbeer is way better. But they got these 3 little cups and
Universal has Ministry of Magic at Epic opening next year. I kind of want to go. Might be an excuse to come down to Orlando, but
Epic right now. I'm wondering how it's going to be because when they first open, they're not selling single day tickets. You have to buy more than one day.
Well, Super Nintendo World, Shrek, Ministry of Magic, all that opens at that place, which is crazy.
Well, and it's going to be a whole How to Train Your Dragon area, which Logan's super into.
Well, let's we'll talk. I think we're gonna plan something here.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the next Christmas present. We'll do another pass holder year.
We did do a couple breweries though, and one of them was the Moore Beer Company, which I'm still convinced I saw their beer at the Total Wine in Virginia. However,
and you asked him, and the guy's like, "No."
I need to go to Total Wine next. I'm going next time I go there. I'm gonna find it. I promise you. But we went there and it was really cool. It was an underground punk show basically is their venue, and it was really rad. We got to have some beers. I didn't put the picture of the kids on here because I didn't want to post the kids, but they're on the couch all bunched up at this brewery that's playing punk music, and or it was a rave music, and we're just having beers and the kids are sitting there. It was loud. That was their thing. It was really awesome. But then that night, of course, Laura and I, these are the famous theater that Lauren and I went to where
Josh's coffee. He still fell asleep.
Josh still fell asleep with his coffee. I had the biggest beer on earth. I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah, yours was a bomber.
It was a full.
I had a 12-ounce can, and Matt has a bomber.
It was crazy, but surprisingly, I didn't fall asleep. I thought for sure I would in those comfortable couches. I did not fall asleep.
Josh
I'm very proud of this.
Many times. I don't know if you saw him, but more than once he was asleep.
I did not, because I was so immersed in the movie, and we even had some really good beers beforehand. I thought we went to this place and got dinner where again I had fish and chips, and they had some really good beers from Beavertown Brewing. Their glasses were awesome. If I could have stolen their glasses. One thing that was go ahead.
I was just gonna say I got vegetarian bangers and mash.
Forgot to show you guys Spider-Man was another Lego, and then obviously this is another Lego that was in the Lego store. Our stickers right outside of Big Ben on one of the old phone booths. But one thing I really liked about British service was the fact that they didn't hound you. You had to go to them. I like that because it was really cool, because I don't like being hounded as soon as I get my food. How is everything? You're mouth full, we're very good. It was you go to them. It was great.
Yeah, I had mixed feelings about that because there are times I do love that, but nowhere in London did we go that we were actually waited on.
That's true, because we had to, this place for dinner. We had to go there and order our food. We didn't know,
and it was that everywhere. And one place it was scan the QR code and order, which that's becoming more of a thing in the States too.
It is, yeah.
However, the difference is in the States they do that and they automatically add 25% gratuity, whereas there they do not.
Well, there's no tipping really in Europe, which is nice. However, in London, they charge you 20% tax, which I was not accustomed to. And I was like, woof. Yeah, London's very expensive.
And our exchange rate was not the best. The kids would be like, oh, this is only $5. No, it's £7. It's £5.
I paid, I think my meal at the Hercules was 64 pounds and it came out to $82. And that was for kids getting sharing French fries. I had fish and chips, and Carrie had a meal. Like it was
Right, it added up quick, and we were there for a solid week with 5 of
Oh
us.
yeah, I couldn't even
But it
imagine
was
being there longer. It was crazy.
right, but I think
Five
when we
Guys
ran
alone was like $40 for 2
Oh my
burgers and
god, you and
fries.
Josh came in, like,
Josh and I
so
were
like,
pissed. I was
you guys
pissed.
came in angry. So they got 5 Guys for the kids before we went to the movie, thinking, like, "Let's feed the kids before we leave." And, like, you both came in, like, dropping those bags, like, "Here's your f" you didn't say this, but it was like, "Here's your fucking food."
It's because I
And then
ordered
that
2
was
cheeseburgers and
so
fries, and it was 35 pounds.
That's what Josh was like, "I think Matt spent, like, $40 on those burgers." I'm like, "On 2 burgers?" He's like, "Yeah." So, and those bags were so greasy.
And I guarantee you those kids didn't even eat half of that food, which
Well, I had some of it in the fridge. I think they ate most of it, but, like, some when we got back, I put the leftovers in the fridge and, like, I ended up
dude.
it didn't even smell good. It was like but and, like, I've had Five Guys once. One of the kids' schools was doing a fundraiser for, like, band or whatever, so I'm like, "Okay, we'll go. We'll, just, get food that night," and I was like, "Oh, this actually isn't that bad." There, it looked so greasy. I would have never had any desire to eat it. It's like, how is it grosser in London? Is it, like, because they're trying to portray
That was, like, the only thing that was
American
greasier in
food
London
that they
because their
made it
fish and chips
extra?
weren't greasy at all. Like, their fish and chips were very
Right.
like, in America, their fish and chips are yeah, the couches were so comfortable. God, I could have slept there.
That's
But,
probably why my husband fell asleep with a cup of coffee in his hand.
but yeah, it was
And because he falls asleep everywhere.
I haven't had Five Guys in years. I'm not gonna have Five Guys for more years. My kids will eat the
Yeah.
scraps out of the trash for all I care. Like it
Yeah.
was
Should tell if your kids ever ask, you be like, "Look, I'm still paying it off from the last time you had it."
dude, the credit card bill is due and I don't want to pay it. Okay. Like it was because the only thing I do like too, another thing is like tap to pay everywhere is really convenient. That
Mhm.
was really like the availability of public transport and the tap to pay cashless was very nice.
Oh, Braille got the Mind the Gap sweater
I
at the
saw
airport.
that.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was the app for the trains at first. I was like, did she really buy the sweatshirt for the train station? Like, what the
No, it's
hell?
from the tube where it's like, "Mind the Gap." The gaps on the tube are like no joke. Like New York, they're not bad at all. On the tube, there's some of them that I feel like a child could just fall through.
So my kids just had a hell of a time because Harper, we got off the train from Southampton and we're going through and my kids again, they had to learn the hard way. They didn't listen. I was like, Harper, I scanned it. You got to go. You got to go. She did not listen. So when she finally started to go, it closed. So it closes on her ears. And there she is. She's like stuck like in the thing. And I had like pulled apart and lift her over. And then finally, like the clerk was like, go through the family thing. And I was like, oh, so now you tell me after my daughter looks.
We got yelled at for that too. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I wouldn't recommend the tube if you're going to and from the airport with a lot of people and they have baggage because it's going to be impossible. We did a taxi, which was 100 pounds for us. I know we talked about that. I was telling you, like, it depends, family size, baggage.
Well, because you have 4. Here's the thing: once your family turns to 5, everything becomes.
That's
so
why
much
I
more
will never have any
expensive.
more kids because that reason
that's
right there. Four kids is enough for me, or 4 kids. Jesus Christ, 4 people in my family. More than enough for me. And but it was a great trip. Everything was smooth. I was very surprised at how smooth it was for us getting there, getting through everything. The whole process was smooth until we flew home. And Heathrow was a kind of a mess. Philadelphia was a fucking nightmare. Going, all that stuff.
Miami wasn't a nightmare. It was just.
Well, Erica took him 2 hours to get through customs, which is crazy.
Same, and we were supposed to have a 2.5-hour layover, and our first flight got delayed, so then it was a 2-hour layover. Man. So like we literally, as soon as we got to our gate, we walked right on.
That's happened. I was like so concerned because I was like, I'm dad, we gotta get there early. I ran about a mile holding Harper, her backpack, my backpack.
But see, we didn't have to run. We did walk briskly. At no point did we have to sing "Run, Run, Rudolph."
I had to run. I literally had to run.
Were you singing "Run, Run, Rudolph" while you were running?
No, in my head I was cussing. So because we had to go back through security, and so we couldn't go like. We got off.
You literally, if you have bags checked on an international flight, you have to pick up your bag.
No sense.
Drop. The one thing though that was nice is they were already tagged, so we were able to just walk right up and drop.
Yeah, but you hand them to somebody else, and here you go. It made no sense.
No, and I was like, I hope they make it.
The customs guy was an asshole. And then we got off an A, and then they wouldn't let us go through security until I got the pre-check, and that took forever because they were just rude as fuck. And so, but at that point, they're like, well, you're better off. Our terminal was F. So we had to go from A to F.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
And we had like no time. And so it's about a 10-minute walk. I was like, well, we got no time for that. I said, all right, Harper, let's go. And she didn't want to walk. She was throwing a fit. So it was even more of a nightmare. It's hot outside. Yeah. I'm carrying her. I'm kind of running through after I let Carrie, Oliver, and Harper go ahead anyways, as I like sorted our last baggage out because it took forever for our bags to come out. I got my workout in for sure. And then we hop on like this really tiny plane that like I had to walk bent in half on because it's very small. But all in all, man, like the trip was very smooth. I was very impressed with Disney. We obviously did the placeholder. And Lauren and I are already talking about our next cruise, which probably won't be, who knows.
I will say that was my 7th Disney cruise and the first time I booked a placeholder.
That was my first time ever doing it. I'm serious. I will die on the hill that Disney cruises are the way to go. I don't care if you have a family or not. You don't have to have kids to enjoy it. The people next to us
I
at
did
dinner,
one without kids once. It was lovely.
I mean, they have adult only areas with the hot tubs and the bars, and they have happy hours, and
the whole front of the boat is adult only.
It is.
Yeah.
It truly blew away my expectations. And then the fact that, our kids got along so well. Oliver and Charlotte were so cute. Some of the pictures I have of those two are adorable. Getting as a family they can experience different cultures. I mean, the fact that, me, you, Josh, and Carrie got to, bond a little bit closer. Ski and Erica as well. I got closer with them. I met Jeff and Hilda, Maggie. I got to meet Tracy for the first time. So just everything about it was it was by far my favorite trip I've ever taken, just for the things that we got to do and see and the people we were with. And then obviously capping it off right here, getting like the accumulation of 4 years of this show, getting to see Deadpool and Wolverine, which we just recorded an episode on. And
I know. I never would have thought on Hops News that our 4-year anniversary would be seeing Deadpool and Wolverine.
It was literally like I was flying home on our 4-year anniversary. So basically our 4-year anniversary was literally spent seeing Deadpool and Wolverine on these swanky ass couches in London, England, of all places.
I never thought that movie would have happened either. There were so many what the fuck?
Yeah. It just,
and I'm wearing the same sweater. How embarrassing.
That was just like my whole thing, was the fact that we got to just do and see all these things, and it was fun, man. So obviously the reigning thing though is look at that. We're champions. We're champions. We almost had to fold the podcast, but here we are. And,
yes,
I'm riding this joke into the sun. Okay.
I'll never forget High Evolutionary again.
High Evolution. I can't believe it. Yeah, we won a Marvel trivia getting 13 questions out of 20, right?
One of the questions we got wrong, though, it was what was Marvel Comics before it was Marvel Comics, and we wrote Timely, and it was Atlas, because it goes Timely, Atlas, Marvel.
Yeah, so I feel like whatever. But a lot of those people didn't know comics. Like Dominique, shout out to Oprah. She was awesome. She knew her stuff. But yeah, it was a good time. So do you have any final thoughts about the trip or the boys or anything like that before we wrap up?
One thing I was disappointed is we didn't see any Marvel characters on the boat.
That
was the first time in since Disney bought them that I haven't seen any of them on the boat. And I wonder if it's because it's a European one and they're not as into it. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I was
I mean,
hoping
they might
we
not be
would
allowed
see
to. I don't know.
somebody. There's no reason they should. The only place they're not allowed to is in fucking Florida. Or like, what is it? Like east of the Mason-Dixon line or some shit like that. Because of Universal.
And now, of course, Paris and Disneyland have Deadpool and Wolverine at their places.
So if anybody hasn't watched any of the videos of Deadpool at Disneyland, I highly recommend searching it. He has made jokes about Iron Man having Tinder and Grindr on his computer.
Yeah, I'm very surprised.
About having to beg on his knees for years to get his own show at Disneyland. He made a joke about him and Wolverine sharing bunk beds, and Deadpool was top and Wolverine was definitely the bottom. These are the jokes that are being made at Disneyland.
I never thought I would see the day. Never.
And then he made a joke with Wolverine because Wolverine's there too. And they said something. Wolverine's like, "Don't you ever stop talking," or something. And he's like, "They tried to sew my mouth closed once. The Rotten Tomatoes wasn't a fan. Hey, I think you were there." I mean, they're calling out the Fox movies. It's freaking amazing.
It was awesome, man.
I hate them. You know what? If Magic or if Walt Disney World in Orlando had them, I probably would have gone straight to Disney from the airport. Logan,
I wouldn't have blamed you.
Oh, we talked.
I probably would have
not
like
the episode we recorded tonight. The other episode we recorded. My son wanted to go straight to Disney from the airport.
He did. I respect it. But yeah, man, Disney was awesome. We booked placeholders. Who knows? We're going to be going on another cruise here soon. Who knows what's going to happen? We got to really hang out and see each other a lot this year. So who knows what's going to be coming up here soon? August is the stacked month. I don't really know episode wise. We might do something on the Olympics because that's going on right now. And I love the Olympics. It ends the 11th of August. And aside from that, there's a lot of movies coming out this month. Trap, Alien Romulus. I still need to see Twisters.
Oh my gosh, you haven't seen that? You were talking about seeing it in Europe.
I know, but it came out the weekend we left.
I know. I saw signs for it in Spanish.
I know. I really want to see it. No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna go either see that or Trap this weekend as the kids go see Minions or some crap.
I'm gonna go see Deadpool and Wolverine again.
I did see Deadpool and Wolverine twice. Like I said, that is going to drop. That review drops Monday with Richard Nebbins from The Direct. That's our boy right there. But all in all, man, make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow us, all that good stuff as we continue on into our 4th year. Who knows? A lot of Comic-Cons coming up, a lot of really good things. Halloween season's upon us. Lauren, next time she goes to Disney, might be making a Croc run for me because they're the Disney Halloween merch is out. Their Spirit jerseys even look cool, and their Crocs are even
Disney
better
Store
this
is
year.
even all DisneyStore.com has got bats on it.
Freaking bats.
Even Target app had Halloween stuff today when I was ordering
pumpkin Shipyard Pumpkinhead. I got the notification. It's out in stores today, so I'm gonna start getting pumpkin beers. We're rolling into there. Let us know if there's any spooky
98
movies.
degrees outside.
Terrible boy band, but Nick Lachey. Let us know. It was 100 degrees actually today too here. But let us know your favorite fall themed things, what you want to see in September. We'll probably do a Beetlejuice episode with Beetlejuice coming out September 5th.
We're doing an Agatha episode.
Agatha's going to come out because Agatha's coming out.
And that's going to be a Halloween show. They even said that in the trailer.
Skeleton Crew comes out in December for Star Wars. Lauren's going to be at Disney next week.
Acolyte.
Whether she likes it or not, hopefully. Jude Law plays a Jedi. It's cool.
Rewind.
And then I really can't wait. Yeah, Agatha, we got comics. Let us know. We'll be hanging out here soon. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, I'm a little jet lagged.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.